How you doing? This goes DeCarlo, and we have Afrah with us, and we're going to be talking about manifestation today. And she's going to take us on her manifestation journey and how she began manifesting, and how she can actually also help her clients manifest, and how this manifestation is not just something that we do moment by moment, but it's a lifestyle. So we'll be discussing manifestation as a lifestyle and how it applies to each and every one of us, and how we use it in our daily lives. So how you doing? Tell us a little bit about yourself, and how did you become a part of this journey of manifestation?
Yeah, hi, Coach. Thank you so much. It's really great to be here and discussing this subject with you. Well, I consider myself that I've actually been on this journey as long as I can remember, but perhaps not consciously step on it. But since, as I remember, like since a child, I've been aware of the power within us and the power of our thoughts and what we can create from within. At some level, some subconscious level, I've been aware. Even that I have articulated it, I have asked questions related to it from my parents. I would like ask questions that can you do something based on what you think or how you look or something like that relating. So yeah, I've been on this journey so as long as I remember, and later on then I've manifested even before I knew that I was manifesting, or before I heard of the whole word, but I've done it like even consciously. And then when I got to hear about it, and I was like, oh, well, that's exactly what I've been doing. And it's just something powerful. And I discovered that it's a big part of my life now and always been.
Okay, okay. So when we're talking about you made some good points. The truth of the matter is, we're always manifesting, whether people understand it or not. So you said before I even became conscious of manifesting, I was manifesting, and so that's what I want everyone to understand, that you're doing this morning, noon, and night. So the thing is just being conscious or becoming more aware. When did you actually become aware that you were manifesting?
Mhm. I became aware of the actions and the power, as I said, before I knew what it was called. When I literally threw some events, some actions to happen related to other people, just solely with the power of my mind, truly.
Okay.
Like it was just amazing. Like I just decided something,
Hmm.
and I gave no option in my mind. No option. I decided that's going to happen today. That will happen like that. It's going to happen. And it was something that outside of me. It was meant that some person, I decided that they are gonna do this. They are gonna move like that. They are gonna take this action.
Yeah.
And they did, and it happened. Just as I had um, decided in my mind, and that happened few times. So I suppose that's where I became aware of it. But that was also in the early stages,
Okay.
not before I became aware that actually, well, of course, in a way that I understood that we're setting, like when we set our frequency to
Mm.
which
Yeah.
level we set it, where we set it, that's what we are vibrating to the outside world, and that's what we're bringing.
Yeah.
We are creating our whole environment and our events.
Yeah.
But that's something that wasn't always so conscious, that I just knew it, but I wasn't like practicing it actively, let's say that. But I think those powerful events, they were like the breakthrough. And then I started taking like more active actions, starting to practice it more, taking like real practices, and understanding that okay, I can now create a lot more.
Okay.
I can now create what I want, and I can bring out that though that what I desire in my life, and started taking notes. For example, I started writing that to myself that what's coming in my life, what I want, what what I want to have, and I just took them and reviewed them, not even daily, but every now and then. And a bit later on, I realized, hey, actually, check, 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 got it all. It's all happened. That gave always it fueled the experience and my journey.
Sometimes children are the most powerful manifestors because they don't have all the inhibitors that we have as adults, all the things that you can't do, shouldn't do, must do, so forth. And I could think about, for myself, as a child, having certain expectations around the holidays. When you have those expectations, how many of those expectations are fulfilled because we just believe that they're going to happen. We don't know how they're going to happen. We just believe that they're going to happen. So, would you agree that you find that children are some of the most powerful manifestors?
I always think that,
Mm.
always. They can just manifest anything. And they understand that everything is open to them, the whole world, everything is possible. For them, nothing is impossible. And thus they do manifest.
Yeah,
You're correctly, absolutely right.
absolutely, absolutely. So, on your manifestation journey, you said that at one point you could start seeing an event or seeing a person carrying out an event, and over a course of time that took place. Could you give us an example of one of those times that you had an event in mind and it was carried out to your satisfaction?
Absolutely. Yeah, I decided that I knew that I was going to see some person that day,
Mhm.
but we had never spoken. We didn't know each other.
Yeah.
I just decided that today I knew where I would exactly the spot where I would meet them,
Mm.
and I would just pass by. And I decided that today, when I pass them by, come to talk to me, just like in the way I set the image in my mind, I saw it, and I decided today they are going to come and approach and come to talk to me. And that's exactly what happened. Another one was also I wanted someone to approach me, but from message. Also someone I had never talked to. We just knew of each other, that we existed, but we never talked to each other. And I and that was actually something that I actually manifested in an instant, but in an instant, because I was just sitting by the computer, and then I decided that now they are going to approach me by message. They are going to send me a message now. There was no subject, nothing like what it would be about, but I said, okay, I just started staring at their name, and I was just gave no other option. I said, no, they're gonna message. They're gonna message. Message is coming. I sat a little bit there in silence, just staring. Boom, suddenly. Okay. And I still always was like my heart bumped, and I was like, they're gonna miss. Similar things like that.
You're absolutely correct. I speaking about there was some work I needed done around the house, and so I had been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And I said, I really need someone to come and do what it is that I need to have done. And I set the intention, and within maybe 24 hours, there was a vehicle over at my neighbor's house that was doing some work, the exact work that I needed done. And so I approached them and they said, call their company. So now I have somebody getting ready to come to my house. But you're absolutely correct. People don't understand the power of setting the attention, you know, intention and your attention. Like you set your attention on the message board and you waited for this person to reach out to you. And I think that many times people fail to realize that we're energy systems. So we're transmitting everything by way of energy or mind. So it wasn't uncommon. We talk to people all the time. You may talk to your spouse and he may say something and you say, I was just thinking that, because I have this happen all the time in my own life with family members or my spouse. I'll say something or they'll say something and I was thinking the exact same thing at the same moment that they were thinking. So let's talk about us being energy and transmitting energy. Are we this energy system, or are we just human beings having these moments of chance, as it were?
I believe we are energy. We are energy systems. We are just truly energy. It's not something that we are just having moments by chance. No, we are truly energy, and all that is happening through our energy, and we are creating the outcomes with our energy. That is absolutely what it is. And my examples, they are numerous. There are so many. Those are just few, like those are the few first ones which I gave. But it is true. It is all about the setting our intention, and then the energy we put into it.
Okay.
And then we set out the energy. And that's happening. And that I see also, not just with me, but with the people around me as well. And especially when I talk to them about this, or I spread this knowledge, for example, and people start seeing that themselves. And it's just like, wow, yeah, it's so simple, so easy. And it's like becoming the norm in your life.
Yeah.
So it's totally, and we reflect with our energy, we modify, let's say, the others as well.
Yeah.
The others' reflection, their actions. Yeah. So that's all there is to it. And talking about family and spouse and children, and that they are the closest and the most instant reflection of our energy, and who we can actually affect only through our own manifestation, sending our own intentions and energy on them. And that is the closest ones and easiest ones. And then I've got like some examples where the situations come, like they might come just like that. And I don't, for example, they just come out of nowhere. But then I start in that moment, I start manifesting the outcome. I start, okay, now it will be like this, it will be like this, and it'd be like this. I put all my attention there, it'd be like that. And yeah, then there are wonderful examples for example, about regarding health, which is absolutely wonderful. What I manifested, like regarding my own health, going to some when I knew that I was gonna go to some scanning, and I imagined the whole scene, how it would go, and how the talk, how everything would go. And I lived with that, live with that end, and that's exactly how it went. All the discussion, everything, and it was like really something very important health thing. And I've done it for then. I don't know if this is the if you want to hear my examples more.
Please.
Or you have
Absolutely.
When we're talking about energy, I like to highlight that very important element is gratitude. Gratitude, always with the manifestation, always give thanks. So that is just fuel for it. So I always do that. I give thanks like beforehand. It's not just that we just manifesting something and we wanting something, but manifesting is more than one thing. It's deciding and seeing that, believing that, living in that reality, but also thanking for that. So then there are examples from that as well. And yeah, there's very absolutely powerful example actually from last year, that for a person which was he had such a terrible accident, and then he was in a hospital and in a very bad state. And actually then one day I heard that now they're saying that he's got maybe hours left, max days or something. That nobody said he can survive. Doctors, everyone, nobody believed it. And when I heard that, I said that do not say that. We don't know. We don't know. Of course, I have to say here that, of course, as a believer, we of course know that there is also higher powers, there is God, but what I know and I believe they go together, manifesting and the powers of God and gratitude, it's all the same. It all goes together. They're supporting each other, and that's where the magic is, that we can, work together. So of course I know that I said that for God everything is possible, and I started totally manifesting and praying for that, and just giving thanks for this person's recovery, and just for his recovery, and giving no other options, just believing, thanking, and manifesting that. And then I left it there in terms of asking for updates or anything. I didn't speak about it, anything, just constantly kept praying and thanking. Like in the prayer, I was just thanking and doing. So that's the same as manifestation. Prayer is a manifestation. So then some days passed by, nothing, some days, and then just one day, I heard, it was a friend of my husband, that one day he came and he said that his what you call it, measurements or something, they are seeing improvement in his status, and now he's just fine. It's just like, gratitude is, it's something, it brings results.
You made me think, how many people have prayed on our behalf unbeknownst to us, and we've received the blessings, because when that man was going through what he was going through, he had no idea that you were sending out requests on his behalf. And yet it doesn't matter whether they know or don't know, when we start. And sometimes, we're told by the master teachers, tell no one, because a lot of times if we tell people about what it is that we do, then sometimes people get distracted, or other people throw in their negativity or whatever. But you said something that was very important. One of the things that the master teacher said, he said, listen, give thanks. And even when he was approaching the illness of a friend, he didn't go there crying and pleading and so forth. He said, thank you, Father. And so gratitude is really the key. Most people don't understand the benefit of gratitude. They think, again, that gratitude is forcing God's hand or something like that, but it's getting us in the right vibration. And so it goes back to what you were saying about energy. Gratitude gets us into the attitude of being able to receive what it is, because when your gratitude says that we already have the request that we're petitioning. And, any other requests, when we're begging and pleading and saying, why is this happening? That's rejecting. But you got into a state of receiving the gift of, we call God, universe, whatever, from your attitude of gratitude. So that was really fascinating. So in your manifestation journey, now there's a couple of questions that I have, but in your manifestation journey, in your community, this is something somewhat new. Do you find that people are receptive of what it is when you're talking about the principles, the laws, law of assumption, however you present it to them? Are they receptive?
Yes, that's a good question. Well, I have not gone out there and publicly talk to them about manifestation, especially that community. They all know openly, of course, that what I do, what I work with, and what's my what I work with, and of course it's all out there in the open. But I'm not haven't myself gone and approached them in this manner. But I'm always happy when people from the community approach to me, and when they are interested in manifestation, and when they come to me and with some questions. I always thank them first for the questions, because I'm so happy that they come and ask, and that they come close to this subject. And there are two things. What I would like to say is that the community and the believers, they already have a deeper understanding. They
Absolutely.
already know
Yeah.
what, they are just different terms.
Yes.
But when you come to talk about these things, they go so much together.
Yeah.
But it's something that you might not think. Not always people understand that or know that. They might sometimes even think that no, it's wrong or something. But then they have understood it wrong. It's not. It's not in their way that we are thinking that we are more powerful than God. We can work alone or something. No, but it's so relieving to be able to tell people, and they get relieved as well, and so happy that actually, like, well, what you're doing already, if you go and pray, if you believe in God, you are manifesting. That is what He wants you to do. Give thanks and believe, and you can manifest, you can set the image, you can set the desire, you can set the desire, and you can live in it. But also at the same time, you are thanking God for it. You are asking for it, yes, but you have to also believe in it. That is what God wants from you. He doesn't want you to be desperate and asking something, but within yourself, you don't believe it.
Yeah.
No, He wants you to, that manifesting means you don't doubt, you trust, what's happening. And that's the whole message. That's the whole message. That's what, if you are a believer, that's what God wants from you. That just throw yourself to them and believe, and that's gonna happen. And they sometimes they didn't even think of the concept of gratitude and giving thanks. Even if they are believers and thus, but it's the traditional way of just asking something, but the gratitude is not always in the position that it should be. But when you practice the gratitude, that's what God loves. He wants you to be grateful, and that's why He increases you more. And this is actually straight from the religion as well. So gratitude is really like the forerunner of success. It's the speeds up the success. So I see these things that they go totally together, and they are like the same. So there's no separation.
Yeah.
You don't separate the
Absolutely.
subjects there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is absolutely true. A lot of times people hear us speaking about these principles, they hear us speaking about divine within, and we're not discounting God, because the truth of the matter is we can't do this apart from source, energy, God, whatever you call infinite intelligence. You can't do this
Exactly.
apart. This is us being a part of, we do what we do because we are a part of infinite intelligence, not because we're separated and we're this entity within ourselves or by ourselves. So you're absolutely correct. So this is not a separation from, as it were, religion and so forth, but it's really an expansion for each person to realize that God is not a God solely out there, but God resides within you, and God desires what it is that you're desiring through you. So it really is a deeper understanding of my relationship with the entity we call God, infinite intelligence, source, universe, whatever. So for me, it was a deeper understanding of realizing that I, in this infinite intelligence, this energy force that we talked about earlier, we're one. And teachers have said it, whether you talk about Mohammed, you talk about Buddha, you talk about Jesus, these teachers have stated these things. And a lot of times we hear these things and we dismiss them. But we can't do this. The teacher Jesus says, listen, I and my Father are one, and apart from my Father, I can do nothing. So, and this has been said by various teachers, by various ways. We're told that even when Allah one, we talk about the Christian or the Jewish faith. Again, we talk about a oneness. So we realize, everybody realizes there's only God. So in that realizing that there's only God, we're a part of that onlyness known as God. So that's what we're really trying to get each individual to understand, that there is no separation between us and Father. And that was the message that enlightened teachers have given us for thousands of years, that there is no separation.
Yeah. For me, it's in the context of that there is no separation in manifesting and believing in God, if you believe in God, or higher intelligence, or whatever you call it. So for me, it is in that context that the subject, they are not separated. The actions, they are not separated. The beliefs, they are just the same, and yeah, it's because it's all about the faith, it's all about the believing, it's all about, and all the religions, they want us to ask and believe, and that's it, manifest. They want us to be grateful, they want us to be to be happy, and to be good, and to love, and thus get more. So yeah, that's why I say that they go together so perfectly.
Yes, absolutely correct. It's funny. I think a lot of times because of religion, because of language barriers, because of cultures, we get this stuff muddled and we think that there's them and there's us. And the truth of the matter is, if we go at a deeper level, we realize that we're really all saying the same thing. Now we may use scientific terms, we may use theological terms, we may use religious terms, we may use various terms, but when everything is said and done, we're really all saying the same thing. We may say energy in the form of science, but we may say God in the form of theology. But it goes back to what you're saying. They're all connected. You and I talked some time back, and you said, I really don't ascribe to the law of attraction. I ascribe more to the law of assumption. And I said, the truth of the matter is, we're really saying the same thing. We give it different names. We give it names that we're familiar with. So no matter what it is that we're talking about, we give it a vernacular that's familiar to us. But ultimately, we're talking about manifesting, we're talking about vibrating, we're talking about energy.
Yeah, we're just using different terms.
Yeah.
All these things exist in religion as well. We just use different terms. And yeah, therefore there is nothing that goes against it. And I don't see, and I don't use anything that goes against it. They are just the opposite. They are empowering each other. So, and actually it's wonderful when I see that, when I have people from the community who I'm coaching, and they get a bit deeper understanding also, and they get a deeper connection also with their faith or their religions, and they see that, okay, well, actually this enhances their religion as well, because it gives them more power, and they can use the manifestation, and they can combine it.
You stated about the coaching. Now, coaching in your community, is that common, or is that something new to many people? Because coaching is something that's happened, probably really blown up in the last 30 years or so. So in your community, how do you approach a potential person that you will be coaching? Do they approach you? How does the conversation start?
Well, usually people approach me either if they see me engaging in conversation or something, somewhere out there talking or something, they approach me and they have some questions, or then they just come for aid, and sometimes we end up in a coaching relationship. Yeah, but the people, then again, they are from the community, they are not from the community, they can be from anywhere. Like I don't choose, of course. I don't choose the people who I help, of course. Only what I see, of course, that if is their situation, is it something that I can be of benefit for them? Is my service something that helps them? And if I can help them with my service, then I'm happy to do that, of course. But people approach from different, they might just book directly from my website a meeting with me, and then we see that if I can help them with my service, or as I said, they might come from somewhere else.
Okay.
And people then they just know me as who I am and what am I doing. So it's more like that.
And I'll say this, we will have a link to your website. So those who will be looking for to reach out to you, whatever. So we'll make sure that they have your information for those who may be interested in receiving coaching from you. So in coaching, as we're winding down, in coaching, do you assess where they're at? How do you begin your process with them when you're speaking with a new coaching client?
We have first the discovery meeting. That's where I get to know where they're standing at, their standing point, and where they want to go to,
Okay.
where they are at, and what's their target, what they are doing now, and what's working for them, what's not working, what is their need, and evaluate whether I can help them in that, whether it's something that I can totally help them, and if I can take them there and they can, or I can help them take themselves there and provide them the coaching. So yeah. Then after that, then we set the target and we start working, and we have a schedule, we have a program, and they have their assignments, and we have our meetings and all my full support and assistance. And yeah, and if they are in the world of manifestation, we use the manifestation very strongly. And if also we use meditations, and I also do live meditations with people, which have been very, very popular because I adjust them according to their need and their situation for their purpose, which is very, very powerful, which I use myself in my daily life, which is very, very powerful. So yeah, then we make like tailored coaching program. I have a special program because I'm a neurochange practitioner. So I have a program, and we go through like very, very on a deep level. Of course, also the elements of human mind and neuropsychology and stuff like that. But we work for their goal basically.
I like that you said something because I think a lot of times with many coaches, they think that, of course, they can coach anyone. And like you, I have a discovery session. And the reason for that is I need to determine if I can help this person with what it is that they're looking at manifesting.
Absolutely.
Or what it is that they're looking at achieving. And everybody may not be on the page of law of assumption, law of attraction. They may just want basic coaching. So, of course, then I meet that individual right there where they're at. And even as we talk about religion, some people may be more religious bias, which is okay. Then I communicate to that person where he or she is. But I like that you said, listen, we'll do an assessment and we'll discover if we're a fit, if I'm good for them, if they're good for me, and if this is something that works out. Because like I said, I think early, especially in the early coaches career, they want to take on everybody. But sometimes we can be of disservice in taking on the wrong people when we
Absolutely.
are trying to service them in something that's not our area. So it's very important. Sometimes I have to refer clients off to other people because they may be, as it were, seeking something that's not something that I focus on. I like helping people maximize their lifestyle. So for me, it's for further achievement, whereas somebody else is a relationship coach or an SP coach. My expertise, I don't focus solely on XP. My thing is, how can I make you the best person you want to be? And then if you attract your SP from that, then fine. But my goal ultimately is you as the individual. So I like that you said that. So in winding down, let the people that are listening know how they can be contacted by you.
Yeah, you can go to my website, which is mastersmindcoach.com, and we'll provide the link here. You can find me also in Instagram, livingnotworking, and also I'm in Facebook. But from my website, you can just directly book a free discovery call where we will discover if I can be of benefit for you, and we are fit to work together.
I look forward to speaking with you again. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.